Long forgotten or ignored, females have plenty of surprises in store for us. We imagine them obedient, submissive, and always devoted. As we'll discover, they can be dominant, independent, manipulative, and often unfaithful. It only took a few weeks' heat wave to evaporate life around Savannah Lane. Driven by the drought, thousands of exiles have invaded our lands. There were wildebeests, then buffaloes, and hordes of predators. The arrival of hyenas and jackals hints at gruesome neighborhood conflicts to come. But contrary to all expectations, the rivals established a nearly cordial cohabitation. In fact, on Savannah Lane, dangers and threats come from unexpected quarters. During a rare violent fight, Esther's clan lost an elephant calf. Laurent lost an eye after being attacked by a solitary male, but she survived. Others weren't so lucky. A lioness lost a cub. Once again, the guilty party is one of her own. On the Savannah, murder is often a family affair, especially during heat waves when emotions run high and space becomes limited. Downstream, the river is already a mere trickle. Higher upstream, it's swollen from the last storm. This abrupt rise in floodwaters created other victims. Then finally, the rain stopped. Near Savannah Lane, the last water sources are drying up. This unexpected pond gives a fugitive a little relief. The mud on his skin forms an effective armor against sunburn. The hippopotamuses suffer the most from this lack of water, especially isolated males who haven't claimed any territory. Without water for shelter, they're living on borrowed time. Best beware of these solitary roving males outcast by their clan. This one has only one idea in mind: to steal a harem. And he's prepared to kill to get what he wants. Everyone knows that the supply of this precious liquid isn't endless. The hippopotamuses will soon suffer the consequences of this grueling drought. Water, the Savannah's essential life-giving element. On Savannah Lane, we've never experienced a shortage before. Thanks to water, Laurent was able to recover, and Victoria could raise her 6 cubs. Josie continues to frolic on these riverbanks, which everyone uses meeting each other and avoiding each other. Even in the sweltering heat, one should always take a moment to enjoy life. Lauren still doesn't trust males. She does things in her own way. She might end up giving in, reluctantly. Lauren makes it crystal clear that everything depends on foreplay, patience, and good timing. The dwindling water sources, the tension and the fights between males have driven these females to take shelter with Kathy. The atmosphere has become unbearable. Kathy is even more exposed to the males' rivalries. All she's ever wanted is peace and calm. There's only one answer. Go seek greener waters. Without knowing it, Kathy has sounded the alarm and shown the way. It's a stampede. An entire harem on the move. From now on, these females and their offspring can no longer count on being safe. By isolating themselves, they've created a continental divide, separating themselves from the males. Let the males stay together and fight among themselves. Dorothy will never have such problems. Remember, she has a much higher level of testosterone than the males. She's so strong, she doesn't need a bodyguard. But you never know. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Nature could have given her a more elegant territory-marking scent to keep prowlers away. But that's the way it is. Her ID card is secreted from her anal glands. In this world of scents, her fellow creatures will know they're not welcome on her property. Here, new life is a kind of miracle. Out of 3,000 copulations, only one lion will reach adulthood. That just goes to show how essential it is to mate. Laurent does her part. Endlessly, she hooks up with a male that she'll probably never see again. As radiant as it may seem, each day unveils a new drama. There are no ordinary days. There's nothing peaceful about this prowler's intentions. He wants to mark a territory and find a harem to steal. Literally and figuratively, something stinks. Kathy and her roommates haven't exactly moved to Savannah Lane's most glamorous spot. Their new home base is a cul-de-sac where all the waste collects. A real dump. Or rather, a sewer. The intruder cases the joint, sizes up its defenses, and discovers that the mothers have no bodyguards. They, on the other hand, only want to flop down and digest the 40 kilos of grass they devoured last night on the plain. Fortunately for Kathy, the boss never forgets his patrol duty. The intruder will have to fight or flight. He's smart. To fool the boss, he takes another option. Jump right into the sewer. The enemy is stolen in on the sly. None of the mothers saw him arrive, and it's total panic. They try to intervene to protect the nursery, but it's too late. Another infanticide has been committed on Savannah Lane. This male got what he wanted. He asserted his power. He's the new king of the harem. On the Savannah, murderers impose their rules. But sooner or later, the tables will be turned. On Savannah Lane, greed, acts of piracy, and infanticides come mainly from those who are alike. the ones who have exactly the same habits, same lifestyles, and identical needs. One's own worst enemy is often one's own kind, notably solitary males. For them, there's only one essential thing: claim a territory where they can reproduce. So of course, they do all they can to mark their territory, discourage rivals, and avoid mortal combat. However, their methods aren't at all unique. Victoria's three sons are heading down the same path. Their permanent home is at the crossroads of several female cheetah territories, an ideal meeting place. Wildebeests departing from Savannah Lane isn't necessarily a good sign. The drought will probably continue, and they'll have to find grass somewhere else. This time, the infantry leaves in disorder. I know the rains will come back again one day. Still together, indivisible, Victoria's sons are blood brothers and brothers in arms. Since their birth, they've always been in sync, aiming towards a common goal. The trio have just appropriated a domain and sequestered two females who wandered onto it. One of the hostages tests her guard's vigilance. It's a lost cause. There's always one brother around to make her toe the line. Now her mother takes a chance, dragging her daughter along. But in vain. For the moment, there's no escape from the three brothers' watchful eyes. Equal opportunity doesn't exist on Savannah Lane. Born up on high, lappet-faced Vulture doesn't fear the others. He reigns over them. With his sharp vision, he can read the signs. A vulture's flight is like the savannah's GPS, signaling scavengers and the curious. Jackals have extremely good manners, but rarely use them. This morning, they have a front row seat and wiggle with impatience, waiting for the leftovers. Vultures, too, eye the bounty like beggars staring at nouveau riche, eating at the best tables in town. They're ready to rumble for a piece of the pie. It's the bastards' banquet. The arrival of a third thief will split the squabblers and change everything. Everyone is wary of Mrs. Lappet-Face Vulture's fearsome beak. Once again, here, nothing can be taken for granted. The members of the beggars' banquet hurry before the next cleanup crew arrives. When Dorothy and her gang come to get the scraps, both jackals and vultures end up in the same club. That of the frustrated. Like the jackals, the lappet-faced vultures raise their single offspring together as a couple. They take turns feeding it. It's really spoiled. The same goes for jackal cubs. Their parents are always ready to regurgitate what they've eaten to satisfy the gluttons. No stress, no family tension or infanticide. Just a few more nips at the muzzle shows there's nothing left to bring up. They're almost perfect. Something's brewing over at Kathy's place. The big boss they all hated has taken back his place in the harem. And this time, he's ready for a fight to kick out the intruder. In the Savannah, sex crimes are often punished, but not always. In the end, the murderer just takes off. I don't think this killer is long for this earth. The females are still held captive and firmly resolved to play submissive so they'll be left alone. Yet not once has the cheetah's vigilance wavered. the two prisoners seem resigned to their captivity. But the trio will have to eat at some point. They'll have to go hunt. It's great to be a united team. Their territory is better defended, and there's less risk. But when they're so solidly bound together, it can cause existential problems. Should they go hunting and risk losing their prisoners? Or just forget about feeding their empty bellies? When there's an opportunity to escape, it must be seized. There may never be another one. Too late. The kidnappers have once again given up hunting for the call of sex. The younger female wants to rebel, but can only submit. The males will wait as long as necessary until the females consent. Heat wave, drought, ruin. The savannah gives no comfort to this hippopotamus calf murderer. Water's value is best understood when the well runs dry. From up high, it's easy to spot a water source. Two days ago, this pond sheltered a hippopotamus and a school of catfish. It's hot, and with its bald head, the lappet-faced vulture might be better off in the shade. But one can't have everything. The others are envious of his nest. Astonishing and yet very real. A nest of leopards. Don't think for a moment that these felines have become nursemaids. They're just squatters. The heat makes heads spin. The hunter doesn't mind the heat. The lioness's pantry has long been empty. Laurent takes command once again and demonstrates her amazing sense of craftiness and staging. The lioness ballet is ready to begin, employing a well-honed technique and infinite grace. Act 1. The ideal target is spotted. Act 2. The corps de ballet wreaks havoc, creating a diversion. Act 3. The heroine leaps on stage just before the curtain rises. The clan can get their strength back. Last night, Kathy and her son moved away. The dawn reveals an unexpected, disturbing scene. Kathy could no longer stand her noisy life in the sewers of Savannah Lane. She thought she'd found a calmer, more peaceful site upstream. With hippopotamuses, it's the same old story. Males always want to lay down the law. Kathy's no pushover. She deserves this peaceful spot on the beach. She just has to get used to the oxpeckers, nibbling at scars, digging out the vermin inside. Being pampered and a little too spoiled by two completely devoted parents makes for a carefree existence. The jackal cubs explore the world without fear, finding it agreeably light and gentle. The jackal cub takes on the savannah audaciously. He's got guts. Nothing can bring him down. Not even the determination of a female elephant who has signaled her return. Lappet-faced vulture, still clinging to the branches. Even eagles must learn to respect their elders. Another life lesson for this jackal cub. The inseparable trio has suddenly abandoned their two prisoners as quickly as they had taken them. Much ado about nothing. Hunger wins every time. The outcome was inevitable. But it won't stop these thugs from doing it again. It's not a good idea to fall behind and get separated from one's kind. This troop of female elephants is like lightning before a storm. Esther is back on Savannah Lane. A reminder that in the heart of Savannah Lane, we've never lacked for water. The hyenas don't know it yet, but these burning whirlwinds that dry out the lungs are a good omen. A hippopotamus loses a lot of water through evaporation. Its outer skin layer is too thin, and he has no sebaceous glands to protect him from the sun. This fugitive has conquered no territory, won no victories, nor gained any distinctions, except through the death of an innocent and weaker individual. On Savannah Lane, we die as we've lived. The euphoria of those who make Savannah Lane quake under their tread is a reminder that this paradise is both unique and terribly vulnerable. The rains have come, and now life is easier. At last, mornings once again seem blessed, making one want to believe in an era before time, when there was no rivalry, jealousy, greed, or aggression, when all neighbors lived in harmony on one shared land. But I digress. Where was I? Victoria knew how to save her cubs' lives. Normally, only 1 out of 3 cheetahs reach adulthood. Her cubs are 8 months old, already adolescents. They're trimmer, and their gray manes have gotten lighter. Yet they still have a ferocious appetite. For Victoria, it's an opportunity for yet another hunting lesson. They don't know what it all means. Just another exploration of this world filled with amazing creatures. But even at their age, hunting instincts are already well honed. They'll learn that the bat-eared fox isn't ideal for testing one's hunting talents. With immense ears, greatly augmenting its hearing, this little carnivore is feisty. This is called the empty belly retreat. Though they've already developed a taste for blood, these young cheetahs will only be completely weaned in a few months. For the moment, there's no rush. Here in the cool dusk after the storm, a mother shows off the litter that will ensure the clan's future to her sisters, cousins, and aunts. Nature, at times so beautiful, can also be cruel. If all goes well, only half of these lion cubs will reach adulthood. In the days after their birth, the mother won't let anyone near her cubs. Pain and pleasure, giving life and being afraid to lose it. On Savannah Lane, like elsewhere, life is filled with obstacles and surprises, moments of joy and hope.